What's the most interesting thing you've seen for sale outside the Classic?
Coochie.
Oh!
Florida Classic is coming up. And the Florida Classic means a few things to different people, right? So we have this thing here, and it's a staple in Orlando. It actually started in Jacksonville years and years and years ago, probably before a lot of these people were born here. And it's been here in Orlando for a long time now. And it's like two sides, right? So it's almost like a thing where people in the city enjoy things, and then you have alumni from both schools who enjoy things, right? So already I'm starting to see, a lot of flyers for parties and events and things like that. So, one of the main staples for the Classic is like the Battle of the Bands, right? And that is the one event surrounding Florida Classic that is kind of both for the city and alumni. People in this culture, we love live bands. We love the music, and these are two of the best bands in the country. I know every HBCU, they're gonna claim their band is the best and all that stuff. But FAMU and Bethune-Cookman, Marching 100, Bethune-Cookman band, they have two of the best bands in the world. Okay, and so they battle and they get down in there in the stadium there, and it's fucking awesome every year. All right, so that's a staple. And something that a lot of the people come to here. Now, like before we started the show, Pink asked me, was I going to the game? Now, the game is typically really alumni and, current parents and people who really love HBCU football. They'll go to the game and check the game out, okay? So that I'll say that's for that. But now, outside of the game, before, during, and after, it's like this huge thing where there's hundreds and hundreds of vendors. Some of the best food you'll fucking find in the city. You have a bunch of food vendors. You have people selling clothes, people selling weed, whatever you're into. Jewelry, I'm sure you can find it.
What's the most interesting thing you've seen for sale outside the Classic?
Coochie.
Oh!
Right, and then you going around, and the women are looking. It's just it's beautiful women that's just walking around, man. Florida Classic. So you want to come there, you got to come there. I mean, depending on what you're coming for, but you want to come looking presentable as possible if you're a guy and that's what you're into, because they're going to be out there. All right, we're going to be out there walking around, and so that's something that also that a lot of people enjoy, because that's one of the top things that we come to the Florida Classic for, is just to be out there with the vendors walking around. People want to be seen, et cetera, et cetera. Now, of course, you have all of the events and clubs, parties, things like that. That's more so for the city as well. People coming. So they have. I know I saw Sexy Red is going to be here. Whatever, if you're into that sort of thing.
With child.
With child. And a couple of other big artists are going to be here as well.
Can we just take a moment and say how unattractive she is? And it doesn't have anything to do with her being pregnant?
Yeah, just very unattractive. And and as I said, her time is coming to an end shortly here. And that's why I support her going out with the baby and just rock this thing on out. It was an unfortunate time to have a baby, but, you got to rock it on out, man.
Her next trip to Orlando will be to walk OBT.
And the other thing is the car show. Car show is fully for the city. Car show, people love to come out, watch, see all the guys who've been working all year on their cars, on the dunks, on this and that, all the rims, the music, the paint jobs. I love to see the paint jobs myself personally.
What is kind of the sequence of event? When is the car show part?
The car show is always last. The car show is usually on Sunday.
So
that sort of closes things out. That's usually the last.
Now,
day.
the Battle of the Bands, does that occur at halftime of the game?
No. So the Battle of the Bands is its own event. So that's usually Thursday or Friday.
Okay.
Sort of sets things off, so to speak. Yeah.
And where's that held?
At the stadium. So it's held at the stadium. I haven't seen. It's never really changes. I'm pretty sure it's at the stadium. It's always at the stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's a staple, man. It's here. It's coming here and be here next weekend. So I'll definitely be out there. Unfortunately, FAMU is a really good team this year, and Bethune-Cookman is not. And that's just sometimes that happens in rivalries. And but Bethune-Cookman still holds the all-time lead. FAMU will not, they'll never catch us in my lifetime.
Oh, it's that bad.
It's not that bad. I'm just very hopeful that it'll never happen in my lifetime.
Or you don't plan on living too long.
It's one of the
we
other.
have a 3-win advantage. Not in my lifetime.
So, yeah. So you guys enjoy it while you can.
While Bubba can.
I love to say during my 4 years that FAMU never beat us. So I take that and I'll love on that.
And you had some zero statistical contribution to that. Those 4 wins.
I don't know, man. I was covering the team. I like to think some of my good articles boosting those guys up. Some of those articles made it to the Orlando Sentinel.
Nice.
Yeah. It actually led to me getting a job at Orlando Sentinel. I worked for them.
Look at this guy tearing it up for Bethune.
I'm a semi success story. They won't be giving me my own thing like they did Shannon Sharp, but
right.
Maybe they need to look into that.
Once Dwight Howard dropped a dick on you, you were out.
That was kind of over after that. Right?
Oh, what might have been.
But yeah, definitely you guys go out there and check out the Florida Classic, man. It's going to be a ball as always. Let me see what we got here. They're talking trash about us to each other.
Oh yeah.
They stay harassing and talking shit. And
really?
said these two are wild.
Oh, we're not wild. We're just the voice of reason and truth.
Yeah. Kobe is asking over under 28 for
what?
No, the he's saying 28 can Bethune cover 28.
Oh, bang.
I honestly
thought that was numbers Bubba was going to collect outside the stadium. Over under a 4 would be more likely.
I know, right? Well, no, not now, man. That's back in the day, man.
Back in the day.
But 28, I don't know, man. FAMU is good. They're good. They're good. They have a real chance to win the conference this year. We have a real chance to finish last in the conference this year. So I don't know. 28. It's a rivalry. You always have that piece to it. It's a rivalry.
Big spreads are so tough.
It's tough, man.
Because again, you don't know. FAMU could get control of the game, put in some backups, a late touchdown, cuts it to 20 or 25. It's what do we,
Yeah.
Very tough. I would almost uniformly stay away from large spreads.
Yeah.
There's just too many variables that you just don't know. You know? And like you said, the rivalry thing could be a real thing. You could, they could put up an inspired half or something like that.
Yeah.
And then you get to the end of some games, like, a team's got possession of the ball. There's, they could run the clock out, or they could try and get that one extra score, and you're just kind of like, well, who's going to make that decision?
Yeah.
Are they worried about my bet or not?
No, that's true, man.